to go. All right, and welcome back, everyone. This is the preview for the SDL Season 2, Week 4 games coming at you. What right here with my co-host Matt, we have Edie behind the scenes as usual. This week we have a great slate of games coming at you. Huge potential matchups where they could have huge playoff ramifications. Now for tonight, we're going to play a new game. It's going to be called Guess the Line. We have our spreads for every single game. I know the spreads. Matt doesn't. I'm going to try to give him a little info on every game, see if he can come within 3 points. If he doesn't, I win. If he does come within 3 points, he wins. And we're going to have we'll have the loser stand out in the sun and have to do the recording during All-Star Weekend because me and Matt are going to be on the mic for that. So we'll get right into it, guys. So it's going to be fun. What do you think about this week so far, Matt? Before you don't know anything.
I haven't even looked at the schedule yet. I do know who Orange is playing. So I have a general idea for that line. Outside of that, I have no idea what to expect from the line. I have to say, shout out Reich Beck. Did a awesome job on the lines last week. I think White came out a little undermotivated against the down red team. Otherwise, that line would have been pretty close as well. But all the other games were within a few points of the expectations of Vegas. So shout out, really good job done there.
Always shout out Reich. Yeah, his lines are mostly on point, guys, if you didn't know. So let's get right into it. First game of the night, we're going with Matt's Orange, who are 0-3 on the season, versus the Redeye Rebounders, who are 2-1. Like Matt just alluded to, Red was missing their top 2 players last week in Escobido and Fur of the Cow, Eric Coffer. Those guys are back this week. Both teams are going to have full squads. Orange got into a little bit of a hole early last week. They fought back to take the lead, but then Scotty Pepper took over in the fourth quarter there and led Maroon to their first win over Orange. Me personally, I like this game this week. Obviously, Orange can't go 0-3 if you guys go, or I'm sorry, 0-4. If you go 0-4, it's going to have huge playoff ramifications. Red, this is their first time playing a full team. With either they had players missing or the opposition was missing players every game they've faced so far. So let's see if they can pull a full win out. Diaz for Orange is starting to find his stroke a little bit. Matt's starting to get comfortable down there on the block. Vlad was hitting some huge shots last week. I think the key to this game for you guys is to get off to a hot start. You don't want to put yourself in a hole again. Maybe put your foot on Red's neck a little bit and get it going there. But what do you think about this game?
Yeah, I think we look every single week. Orange is going to get a little bit better than they were the previous week. Weeks 1 and 2, we ran into a buzzsaw of purple team who's been phenomenal. The gray team who was scoring nearly 100 points a game coming into our matchup, and so you know we're still finding our way. Again, we're one of the 2 teams with a lot of new guys on there. That being said, you can never bet against Escobedo.
Right.
I'm going to take my first swing here, and I'm going to say that Reich Beck set the line. Reich Bet set the line at red minus 12.5. I think that 12.5 number is going to be a little too high. I think it should be a little less than that. My personally, I would put it at 9.5.
Yep.
I think we're going to keep this game close. I think it's going to come down to whoever's standing in the fourth quarter. I think we match up really well against the red team. No traditional big. Escobedo's going to have to play their big. He's going to have his hands full with me down low like he usually does. And I like some of our other defensive matchups. Don't know really a whole lot about Fur the Cow, Eric Coffer. He is he's one of the younger guys in the league, could jump out of the gym relative to everybody else. So I think he's going to be their X factor. But I'm going to take Orange and the points, assuming I'm somewhere in the ballpark. How did I do in that first one?
So for start off, I'm 1-0 because Reich gave you guys a little more credit than you gave yourself. It is a 8.5 spread.
Okay, close to my feeling then. Okay,
Very
close to
right.
I said it should have been 9.5. I thought he would have gone to 12.5. Maybe I should go with my own lines for these next couple, because that felt pretty good. Okay, got
Me
it.
personally,
Okay,
I was thinking, I'm thinking even, I think it's going to be even closer than that, only because you guys have your backs up against the wall. Diaz is starting to come out of his shell a little bit, finally figuring out the SDL. So is Vlad. You still got Rabbits out there who can get hot. Dan White, who I know he can have a big game any given night because they like to leave him open and he can hit some shots. So I think it'd be
For
like
sure.
a 7.5 point spread for Red, but I still like you guys potentially to pull out the upset in that game.
Totally. Yeah, there's an opportunity. Look, the beauty of the SDL is despite being winless and the only winless team, any team can beat any other team
Right.
any day of the week, mostly on Tuesdays. But
Nothing on
going
Tuesdays.
into
Yep.
anything, we can be close enough. Any team can be close enough to the other team because the parity in the league, that's what we strive for in this. So okay,
It
I'm 0 for
reminds me.
1, but I feel
Yep.
good. I feel good with my gut instinct now.
It reminds me a little of Purple in season one. I don't know if anyone stuck around for season one. Purple was pretty bad for the first half of the season, but then they peaked right before playoffs, and no one wanted to see them in the playoffs. And without a Vasquez missing a game, they might have went all the way last season. So
That's
you
very
never know.
true.
Orange can get hot. But rolling off the back of that one, we're going to go right into game two. And for me, this is my game of the week. You got the reigning champs, the Blacktop Legends, coming in at 2-1. Their only loss is without Jose. He was not there that week. Versus the Purple Patio Pounders, who I just alluded to, who are 3-0. The matchups in this game, I love them. I'm pretty sure Jared's going to be on Jose. You got Sissio and Lon battling down low. You got Vasquez, who I don't know who they're going to have him chase around, as well as Brandon Silver. Me personally, I like Purple this game. I'm not going to say the spread yet, but I think Purple pulls this one out. No pun intended. Purple's defense is underrated. Doesn't get the love that it needs to get all the time. But 1 through 5 there, they got everyone that can stop the ball, D up their own guy. Don't get me wrong. Black beat me up last week. They can hold you to a low shooting percentage game. Ask me and Perry. We could not hit a shot last week, but that wasn't just us missing. That's them on the ball, boxing out. So they're
Hmm.
able to switch, between Sasson, Goodman, Bregman on the perimeter. They really have three guys where it's interchangeable at every position, so it doesn't really matter the matchup there. And they got guys that can get bucket on Black too. Bregman, don't sleep on him. Obviously, Jose and Lana, they're 1-2 punch. Sasson can get hot from the field. What do you think about this game, Matt?
Yeah, this is undoubtedly the game of the week. Some are saying you and I might be on the mic together for this one,
I like it.
which would be awesome.
Mhm.
I'm going to stick around after my six p.m. game and join you on the mic for this one. And I, from a line perspective, I think the casino's got to respect Black. They haven't lost yet without the point guard Jose, but I think this is gonna be tight. I'm gonna go with Black minus -0.5, basically a pick 'em, and I think there's a chance because Purple was the unanimous number one in the AP poll, the first ever SDL unanimous number one. That Reich might flip it that way, but there's just no shot it's going to be more than 2.5. It can't be more than 2.5.
Yep.
I'm taking Black minus -0.5. How did I do?
So it's 1-1. It was a 1.5 point spread, Black favor for this one. So Black minus 1.5. You're on the money here. If I had to pick, honestly, I think Purple's a little bit hotter, and I would flip towards them. I would say -2.5 Purple if I was a betting man. So me personally, this week I know I like to do my picks. I'm gonna take Purple money line and spread. Obviously, if I'm taking money line, so I think they pull out the win versus Black because they have a lot of talent on that team, defensively,
They
offensively.
do.
Vasquez 1 point away from setting the SDL point record last week with 47 points. Jared on the defensive, dropping dimes everywhere. Sissio down low. Reich shooting threes. Brandon Silver, can't forget about him. He got lost last week, not scoring a lot of points, but he had so many assists. They are deadly right now. So I'm going to go with Purple
Yeah.
on that one.
Couldn't agree more. I'm taking the points. I'm taking Purple money line. Unanimous number one. Look, there's we know what Black's MO is, right? Get Jose, get Lon, do the pick and roll. Is there anybody in this league that fights through picks better than Jared Shore? Is there anybody that tries harder on defense than Jared Shore in this league?
No,
He's gonna fight like hell through those picks. And guess what? Even if he doesn't and they switch, he plays way, way, way bigger than his actual size down low, and he'll
yep,
give Lon fits. Not a knock on Lon by any stretch. Just a hat tip to Jared for his incredible defense. He's going to make that pick and roll work as hard as it needs to work. And Black doesn't score a lot of points. They win
no,
games because of their
yep,
defense and because they score efficiently.
correct.
Purple has the defense to slow them down and has the offense to really pour it on. I
Yep,
see this as either a really, really close game. Black's not going to blow Purple out, but I can see it going the other way. There's a 1 or 2 out of 10 chance where Purple blows the doors off of this Black team,
yep,
just because of they're not used to facing a defense and they're not used to their pick and roll having to work as hard as it needs to work. A lot of the burden's going to fall into Goodman. A lot of that burden's going to fall into Sasson. as well as Bubbles. And Bubbles has been playing great, scoring a lot this
Yep.
season with Armando's absence. But I'm taking purple, and I would take them all the way up to about minus 4.5.
I agree there. Yeah.
Honestly, it's going to be a really fun game. Can't wait to call this one with you.
Agreed. And for DPOY, I know we usually roll towards, big guys for that award for blocks and everything, but Jared's got to be right there as a DPOY candidate. I mean, he just locks up the perimeter. He's
Yeah.
able to switch on to anybody. He rebounds way bigger than his size. So shout out Jared. Good stuff, man.
Absolutely, if he's not getting some first and a lot of second place votes last season, I don't know who's voting on that.
100%. Yep. So we'll roll right into game number 3 of the night. We got the Graybeard Goats coming off a tough loss last week against the Ballers on a buzzer beater versus the White Sneaker Warriors. Great. Both teams at 2-1. White won their last 2 games coming into this. I believe they're going to have Alex Berg back this week after missing a few weeks. Gray also has a full squad. For being honest, Gray was in control of that game for about 2.5, maybe 3 quarters. Gary the Camper showed up at halftime, stalled out the Grays offense a little bit, was able to slow the game down. But like we always say all the time, Gray, just like Purple, they have a squad over there. You have the Splash
Yeah.
Brothers and Dennis and Edie. Dennis are rating Offensive Player of the Year. Edie playing like an MVP candidate right now, averaging about almost 40 points. You got the Wall down low. He's a great complementary piece to any team. Any team would be lucky to have Brian on their team. You got the Warden on the wing. He's setting up passes. He's D'ing up their best player most of the time. They are solid over there on Gray. Then you got Vic the Enforcer down low. He comes in, plays his role, sets the picks, does whatever he needs to do. And then looking at White, they've been heating up. Javon 2 weeks ago was on fire. Last week they played a game through Mount Mirabal, had Brian O'Hearn, player of the game. Alex, main event Uso over there. He's been hitting some shots. He's been getting it rolling. For me, this is going to be, can White keep up with Gray? I know
Yep.
sometimes White has spells where they just can't put the ball in the bucket. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The shots aren't falling. Jay's getting double teamed down there. He's kicking it out. And if someone's not hitting a shot for White, what are they going to do? Can they slow down Edie? I mean, I believe you got the guard dog O'Hearn. Does he guard Dennis? Does he guard Edie? No, you never know. So I'm looking at the matchups this week. Should be a fun game. What do you think about spread for this one, Matt?
So I really like this game. The For me, the key matchup is not the one you think. I don't think it's going to be the Wall versus Big J down low. We know what Big J brings to the table in this season too. 14 to 18 points per game, a ton of rebounds. He's going to put up a ton of shots. It really comes down to the shooting. Now, if you believe the on off stuff, Alex is going to be on this game. If you remember, he started out really slow week
Yep.
1, had a really strong week 2, back to really slow week 4 or week 3. Maybe he's back on for this week 4. But I think White has the wing defenders that they need to throw at Greg.
Right.
From a spread perspective, when you first said the matchup, my gut immediately went to Gray minus 5.5.
Mhm.
But Gray's not going to lose 2 games in a row,
Right.
especially coming off that disappointing Blue Ballers game.
Mhm.
Especially Dennis not putting up 20, only having 17 last week, very unassassin like. I think that's fact baked into this line. I'm gonna say it's Gray minus 6.5 points from White. How did I do?
So I want to tell you, always go with your gut because it's a 5.5 point spread. You were right on there. So
Man,
it's still 2-0 Matt though. He's up right now, 2-0. You're 100% right though.
two
I don't.
one, 2-1. You got the first one.
Oh, 2-1. Apologize. Yeah, I got the first one, but like, it kind of reminds me of the NFL. You got a team coming in that lost the last 2 lost 1 last week versus a team that's coming in, winning 2 in a row, and implementing another guy who they haven't won a game with. I think that factors into it just a little bit, not
Absolutely.
crazily. So I agree. I like Gray on the spread, and I like Gray money line this week. I think they hit their shots. Coming off a last second buzzer beater, they're definitely going to be coming for people's necks this week. Although White could definitely pull this one out if they lock in on defense and some of their shooters hit some big time shots. If Javon gets hot again, if Alex gets hot again, and if Jay can command that center paint area, they have a great shot at winning this. So I mean that 5 point spread is right on point. And like we said, it's only 2 buckets in the SDL, so that's going to be a close game. Could go back and forth, but I could see Gray run away with it. I don't really see White blowing the doors off of Gray. That if they
Right.
win, it's going to be a tough in the mud battle like that. But Gray can get hot from deep. We know it. We've seen it. They put up 100 points a few times, I believe. So I'm going with,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm going with Gray money line and spread this week.
Yeah, if White wins this game, it's going to be like you said, it's going to be in the mud. Think of a game in the 60s. maybe touching the 70s after the Elam ending. If this game gets into the 80s, it's going to be gray. I don't think White has the scoring, and Big J knows this as well as I do. Threes are more than two. Last time I checked,
Yep.
even if Jay and I are hot, it's tough for a big to put up 30+ points in a game.
Yep.
Whereas an Edie type or even yourself, Joey, a
Right.
handful of threes mixed with your normal, gameplay,
Yep.
you guys can touch 30, in a heartbeat, just given the number of threes that you shoot. I will say, Big J actually shot a pretty respectable 3-point percentage last year.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't looked at Sports Visio, and by the way, all of these stats come to you live from the Sports Visio app. Sports Visio watches our games. It is AI. It goes through, it learns us, it knows our jersey numbers, our names, it knows everything about basketball, and it tracks our stats. And typically processes in about 24 hours. And they're open to feedback. You help by giving feedback if they miss a block or if something was a tip and they missed it. You give them that feedback. AI starts to learn and does a little bit better the next time around. So
Yep.
they've been with us since season one. An incredible app. This league would be nothing without Sports Visio. Shout out Sports Visio. They're also on Instagram and YouTube. Give them a shout out and a follow. And if you have a league like this, I recommend them twice over. They are absolutely incredible.
Yes. Worth every penny. Sports Visio, 100%. They are top
Absolutely.
tier. Yep. The customer service over there is top notch. Love everyone over there. Like you said, shout out Sports Visio.
100%.
So yeah, that's what we think for the gray white game. Looking forward to that one. Then we're coming into our fourth game of the night. We got the 1-2 Maroon Muscle going up against my Green Lawn Gladiators, also 1-2. Maroon got hot at the end of the game last week, was able to knock off the Orange Crush in a tightly contested battle. I believe that was a 7-point game at the end. And
Hmm.
Green coming off a tough 4-point loss against the reigning champ, Blacktop Legends. I can speak on my team's behalf. We had an awful shooting week for most of the team. I believe me, Armando, and Perry, we all had off shooting nights in like the 20% for all three
Yep.
of us. Me and Perry, who are usually the leading scorers, only combined for about 20 together. So that's lower than we've ever seen. We're looking to bounce back this week. Hopefully, the law of averages kicks in and we're able to get our percentages back up like usual. Boone has a tall team over there, height wise, literally. Everyone on their team is pretty big, from Pepper all the way down the line to their point guard. They got Saka back. He played solid last week, coming off that ankle scare. Herman, Sean, Lebo can get hot from three as well. So it's going to be tightly contested matchup. I know I don't want to say this is a must win for us, but it's pretty close to a must win. We don't want to drop to 1-3. We want to even it up 2-2, so we don't fall too far behind in the standings there. Maroon as well, though. They don't want to drop to 1-3. They're looking to roll off of their impressive win last week and get it going. But what do you think line wise is this, Matt, coming into this one?
Yeah, despite being 1-2, the league is not fooled by your record. I think across the league, everyone thinks the green team is and I said it on last week's pod, from top to bottom, one of the most well-rounded, deepest teams in the league. And I think you guys were still fifth in the AP poll coming into this week, which again, at one
Yep.
and two, no one's fooled by that record. So despite having the same record as Maroon, I think Green's going to be favored. Again, I think, like you mentioned yourself, you had an off game. Dr.
Mhm.
J, Jason Perry, also had an awful game, shot 22%, I believe, 27% from three.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't expect that to continue for Green.
Mhm.
I think Armando has a pretty big game. Again, I'm gonna go with my gut and I'm gonna change it. But my initial gut was 6.5. But I think the league is on to you guys. I'm gonna say that line is Green minus 7.5.
Okay, once again, stick with the gut, buddy. It's a 6.5 point line. You're right on it, two in a
This is
row.
incredible. I gotta say, I am on it.
See,
I just gotta
you
keep
are
with my
right there.
gut.
Like
That's
everyone says,
incredible.
the gut is your second brain, and that second brain is working tonight, baby. That's right on.
Wow,
But
that's
yeah, it's a six
incredible.
and a half point spread. Green is favored on this one. Me personally, this is biased, but I'm going to take Green with the spread and the money line. I think we get hot this week. We don't have two cold shooting weeks. Knock on wood. It could always happen in the SDL. You
Of
know that.
course.
And Maroon could hit some big shots too. We got to stop Scotty Pepper, who can get hot. We got to make sure Sean and Berman, rumbling, stumbling, bumbling, doesn't get hot as well. And it's gonna be. I think it's a good matchup this week between me and Saka. I've never played against him, but I'm excited for the challenge. See if I can slow him down a little bit because he seems to be their engine for the most part, besides Scotty Pepper over there. So I think there's some good matchups in that game, and I think Maroon could keep it much closer than that 6.5 point spread if they hit some big shots and we miss a lot again. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I don't see Maroon is an oddly streaky team, even within games. Pepper can hit them sometimes, and get really hot. Saka much better closer to the basket than he is from three. He can shoot, obviously, but much better closer to the basket. Sean Medeiros is a good shooter, but also very streaky. He'll hit three or four in a row, and then not be able to hit the backboard for four shots. But at that number 6.5, I am betting the farm on green money line.
Yep,
I think the line should be a little bit higher. I think the number in reality is probably like an 8.5. And
agreed.
again, no offense to Maroon, I just think personally Green is top to bottom one of the best teams in this league,
Yep.
despite the 1-2 record. So I would bet the farm on green money line personally and go from there.
That's right. So yeah, I don't think last week I believe Green only scored about 54 points. So that was really low. We're usually in the 80s or something like that. So hopefully we bounce back this week and are able to slow down Maroon. But in our nightcap, coming up in the last game of the night, we got the 1-2 Ballers coming off a massively huge win against the Goats last week versus the Yellow Light Hustlers, also coming in at 1-2. So after losing DeMar, Yellow has yet to sniff the win column since. They put up some good fights. They just can't put it all together. And the Ballers, like I said, that's a win right there to jumpstart your season. And I mean, they started off real slow. They're the only team that ran back the entire full roster. They know each other. They got the chemistry. They got the talent. And if they start to put it together, they could be a scary team coming in here. I mean, you got Rosenberg starting to heat up. Bomber hit the huge three. As soon as the camper came in, he slowed the game down for them, was able to get some offensive rebounds, some second chances, was able to close off the lane for the Goats last week so they didn't have wide open driving lanes. Then you got Yellow. They're riding right now off of Lewis's 3 point shooting for the most part. A few of their guys on their team get streaky. They can hit some shots, but they're not doing it consistently. Eric can hit some shots. Obviously, Ian can hit some shots, but Greg has been shooting probably the best percentage on Yellow. So if I was them, I'd look to get more opportunities for Mr. Goldstein out there, get him some buckets, get them rolling. But for this one, I mean, I think Blue is definitely in the driver's seat. What do you think about spread for this one, Matt?
Yeah, I think you said it. The last person you said, Greg Goldstein, I think is the absolute X factor. Look, Rudy can't have another Lou potential performance, but I think Greg Goldstein is going to be the key and the linchpin for Yellow this week. That being said, I think Blue needs to be favored. But I'm not going to put this line as high as I think I should because I think Blue is going to come off of a classic, beating Gray, huge
Right.
letdown. Some are
Mhm.
saying Rosenberg is still hungover.
Yeah, we
Now
had a good time that night. Yeah,
I've
I
seen
can
him.
attest to that. I went out with Bobby and Rosenberg. We had a great time, everybody. Great time. So
I've seen Rosenberg show up at 7 a.m. on a Sunday, still hungover and play. So it's still possible for him to put up numbers. But I'm going to say it's a tighter line than we think. Again, that was Blues' first win of the season. I'm going to go. And I believe Gary's showing up late, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I think he's pulling the same thing. Again, I could have that wrong, but
gotcha.
I believe that was the case. Given that, I'm going to say it's Blue minus 3.5 points favored against Yellow. You're nodding. I think I did well.
You did well. You're right on there, but once again, 1 point off. It's a 2.5 point spread from Hard Reich Beck. In my mind, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think it's a little higher than that. I think it's about a
Yeah.
5.5 point spread personally, just because
Yep.
Blue has the talent. When they put it together, they don't usually blow teams out, but they win handily when they win. Now, Gary being there is huge for them, obviously. If he's not there, Furman obviously plays huge down low, plays much bigger than he is. But you need your all-star big man down there as well because he slows it down. He closes off passing lanes, driving lanes. He gets offensive rebounds, second attempts, and everything like that. But I like Blue spread 2.5. Obviously, I like Blue money line. I think they keep Yellow in the losers column this week. Unfortunately, the only chance Yellow has is if they shoot the lights out. You know what I mean? If they got a if Lewis can put up 10 threes and drop 30 and Greg keeps up his solid play, maybe Ian throws out one of those classic games where he might drop a 30 here or there
Yep.
because he's capable of it. But right now, ever since their number one guy went down, it's tough for Yellow. Anyone in the league who loses their number one guy, I'm not saying anything about Rudy. It's just DeMar was an all-star, a team carrier, put you on his back, get you buckets, and they're
Top
missing that.
five guy in the league. It's just hard to
100%
replace.
between shooting and size and athleticism. I mean, he could put a team on his back and get a couple wins every season. So right now, they need someone else to step up, maybe put up big time shots, not just percentage wise, but when they need it most. You know, timely shots in this league are absolutely huge. You know, we used to call it a flow stopper last season. They need someone that can come out there and get a flow stop, pull the momentum back towards their side. But and with this line, I like blue, money line, and spread. What about you?
I totally get it. I see where you're coming from, but again, I think the blue letdown post a win is very real. Also, and I don't know if Hard Reich is paying attention to this depth. He should be if he's Vegas. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the 9:30 game has had a couple upsets now in this
Correct.
9:30 slot.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna say, give me yellow money line. I'm gonna take the plus odds. Give me
Okay.
yellow in the points. I think Ian drops a dime. I think Goldstein is a 22 or 23 point game.
Hmm.
And I think they pull it out. I think Rosenberg will get back over his 20, but I think he's going to take some shots away from Baumer, who's been pretty good from deep. And Gary showing up late, I think hurts them more than we think. I think Rudy doesn't put up another Lou type performance at 3 for whatever he was before, last week. I think he bounces back a little bit. And yeah, I like yellow money line and the points. Give me the points. We'll see what happens here.
Matt going for the upset at the end of the night. I like it. You're right. Yeah, the 9:30 game is tough for us. You know, the Suburban Dag League, it gets a little
About
late
it.
out there. You know, guys. So, but yeah,
And Ian loves the 9:30 game. Ian is much rather put the kids to bed, then show up to the gym and do work. He's gonna come ready to play. Purple always did well with Ian in those 9:30 slots. So yeah, give me yellow money line, yellow points. And I think we need to get right to start giving us some money line odds as well, not just
yeah,
not just spreads.
I'd like that too. Yeah, I know a bunch of people who are outside the league looking to bet some games. It's creating some excitement, folks. But
Or
with all the games, the
forward.
game slate this week, I love it. It doesn't look like there's going to be many blowouts at all. It's only going to be tough sledding for everyone this week. There's a few guys. No team wants to go to 1-3, and there's a bunch of us that have an option to do that. So there's going to be some hard fought battles this week. There's going to be some good basketball, I believe, and we'll be ready to play as the green team. I can only speak for me, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be a fun week of
Absolutely.
games. But
Absolutely. Joey, why don't you run us through the lineup one more time? Give
yep.
us the game of the week and give us, if you remember, give us our picks for money line and
Yep,
points.
100%. So for the first game of the night, we got the 0-3 Orange going up against Red 2-1. That's an 8.5 point spread. I believe we both went with Orange spread, Red money line, if I'm not mistaken. On the second game of the night, game of the week, we got the 2-1 Blacktop Legends versus the Purple Patio Pounders coming in at 3-0. That's a 1.5 point spread favored for Black. I went with Purple money line and spread. I believe you did as well. Okay.
Same.
Yep. Then coming in for game number 3, which also has potential to be game of the week, we got the 2-1 Graybeard Goats, 5.5 point favorites over the White Sneaker Warriors. I went with Gray, money line and spread. I think they cover that as well. I believe my co-host did as well. Coming in with the fourth game of the night, we got the 1-2 Maroon Muscle plus 6.5 versus the Green Long Gladiators. Both of us went with the points, green minus 6.5 as well as money line. And then the last game of the night, we got the 1-2 Blue Collar Ballers versus the Yellow Light Hustlers. 1-2, 2.5 point spread in favor of blue. Matt with yellow plus 2.5 and money line, and I took blue minus 2.5 and money line on that. It's going to be a great slate of games this week.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, this is another episode of the SDL podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to smash that like button. Leave a comment down below. What do you think? What do you think the game of the week might be for us? And what upset do you think might pull out from this week's games? Excuse me. So, for my co-host Matt, Edie behind the scenes, thank you guys for tuning in. We will catch you all next time.